So I had a whole other I had a thing planned. I have these note cards with shows. A lot of help is one of the shows, and I had a whole thing I was going to talk to you guys about. And then I decided, never mind. I can't say I saw some news, of course, on TikTok or somewhere, or Instagram, or whatever, and I was just like, I'm gonna talk just straight off the cuff today about how I'm feeling about some stuff because I was just like, I think we jump more also in society. We kind of for ourselves talk things out. And this is a lot of help with James Lott Jr. I am a certified life coach, professional organizer, all that. But I'm also a human and a citizen of the world and a citizen of America and a citizen of Los Angeles, Inglewood. And I'm just seeing everyone's going crazy. I mean, it's like at first you think, oh, people always been crazy on some level, right? There's always some folks. But I feel like it's getting worse. It is getting worse, worse, worse. I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just like, as a life coach, as a person who tries to help people get from point A to point B in their lives or get unstuck, it's yes, I get down to the very personal levels and talk to you directly and work things out with you directly on stuff. But then you have to go out in the world and apply it out in the world with other people, situations, jobs, the grocery store, whatever. And they're crazy. I follow and watch other online coaches. Some of them are just are wonderful, wonderful, great, everything. And but some of them I just always they talk about methods that they use for themselves to help you out, which is what we all do. That's nothing like that. But I always sometimes wonder, how do they survive in the world, or is it all an act on camera where we're like, "Hi, I'm doing great because I did this and I'm trying this. Yes, once I was this, but now I'm better, and we do this because it's all a product, right?" But I think when the camera gets turned off and they get back in the world, are they like me, just running for their lives? Also, I fully admit I don't have everything together. I have it pretty much together. I mean, I'm pretty good. I mean, professionally, doing fine. Personally, doing okay. I'm still working on some areas. I'm not by no means perfect by any means. I don't even use that word. And I admit when I have days that are too much for me, or a little too low, or too much. I have days that I've had panic attacks. Excuse me, waking up this morning. Coffee. Coffee works. Um, Now days that I'm wonderful and great and nothing bothers me. I have both. And that's like that's normal. That's life. Emotions are fleeting. It's life. Any given time of day. But to navigate in this world nowadays, it's getting crazier and crazier. I had a guy just staying in front of my house, just staying there, yelling out like "Hello, hello!" And I'm like, "What do you need? What do you want?" And he was dressed pretty normal, so it wasn't like whatever. So it wasn't like I don't know what his deal was, but he wouldn't leave me alone. He started following me, and I had to threaten to call the cops. We had to end up having to call the cops. He kept just hanging out in front of the house. I'm like, don't know what's going on. Now, contrast that to there is, or I haven't seen him in a while. I hope he's okay. There is a homeless guy that used to always collect cans and bottles and stuff. And turns out my brother and I both were giving him cans and bottles for ours. Separately, we didn't know this. But I like him. I mean, he was homeless. Occasionally I give him money. So here you go, whatever. But I was out there collecting cans and this stuff. And what's kind of interesting, he didn't seem crazy to me. He seemed like he was down on his luck. And that's what he had to do to survive. But his other person who was kind of nicely dressed seemed crazy to me. So it's like the world's just turning upside down. It's not everything you think. You can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge a person by its look. Just be careful. You never know where someone's gonna just snap. Now you gotta be careful on how you talk to your neighbors, because you're seeing neighbors going crazy. Where you go to the store, you cut somebody off in the lane. I'm seeing folks smashing cars in parking lots and use their cars just parked there in the car. This person's going crazy, road rage. Like, it is I was just watching this thing, that this Hertz thing, and, like, "You need a passport." He's like, "I'm from Puerto Rico. It's America." Like, it's and just knowing and just, like, nobody cares. I go to places to eat and stuff, customer service, it's been going down anyway. But I understand you're not getting paid a lot of money. I worked retail, I worked food service, trust me, I know. Um, but nobody's happy. And so it's almost like, "Well, I gotta do this job, I don't wanna do it, so I'm gonna act however I want because if I get fired, I'll just get another low rent job somewhere else either. Who gives a fuck what you want? Who cares?" And then you're going in there hoping for a good experience, and they're not giving it to you, so now you're upset and ruined. They talk to the manager, manager's like, "Eh, whatever, they don't care." It's a domino effect. I went to a hotel in Catalina, and a guy just did the front desk girl was amazing. Manager was shitty. Just didn't give two shits. It was my birthday. Didn't give two shits about nothing. Didn't want to investigate anything. Didn't want to look at anything. I had an issue, a finance issue with them, and they just didn't care. Just really didn't care. And stood there, and looked at me like I just don't really care. I've called on the phone, and it's just funny. It was like, dude, my mother was sick and she was getting better. We had to call institution to take care of business, and I put them on speaker, and so she could hear me. And I always would call, hello. And I go, how are you? And they were thrown off every single time. The person on the phone was thrown off. Because I'm sure people just call them and scream and holler and yell at them and don't say anything. But I was like, "And how are you today?" "Oh, I'm good." Some have a script, so it throw them off. They don't do things like they have a script. "Hi, how can I help you today?" Like, it's kind of like, but where's the humanity in this? We're actually handling a human situation. I want to bring humanity in it, and compassion and grace and kindness and tolerance and so and mom was like, "You always," and you know what's funny? A lot of times I got better service. It's more bees with honey than you do with vinegar, right? And so I always would do I would kind of throw them off because it was like, "Oh, they don't just do themselves." So for me, it was kinda like, I will always say that and kind of throw you off. And then they go, "Oh," and then I had and I'm telling you, there was one day we had to call like 4 or 5 different people. It all went smoothly. Believe it or not, it all went smoothly, and it was a smooth morning. We got a lot of stuff done. I was like, "Wow, that was amazing." And that's what it is sometimes. I mean, and there's some folks they love their jobs. Like my mother has this UPS guy she can become friends with, and he just loves his job. He just does it, and he's happy, and he does his packages. And I had a DoorDash the other day, the food service, where the guy kept telling me, "Okay, I'm picking up your DoorDash. How are you?" Like, wow. I could that's like, yeah, you're gonna get a tip because I was like, I couldn't even believe how nice you were along the way. Now, counter that with I had a Lyft the other day. They drive right past me. Now I know sometimes the GPS things on their phone may show a different dot somewhere else, and that happens sometimes. The satellite's off sometimes. I totally get that part. But I'm standing out there with all these bags with my curly hair. My pictures, I make sure I update my picture so you can look. It's this one girl said she found me because of my curly hair. But yeah, so signs them. But you're down the street. I'm not walking down the street. Plus, my bags are heavy. I actually need you to help me. So I'm waving. I'm waving. I'm trying to call. They don't answer. I try to text. They don't answer. When they finally see me, they back up across the street. And I'm like, "Can you turn over this? Can you come this way so I can put those in here?" I said, "They're heavy." He just stood there, just sat in his car, looked at me, wouldn't go over. I'm like, "I just want, can I?" So these are really heavy. Can I? And there's plenty of room in front of my house where I was at, and just wouldn't just turn the car around and let me. And plus, I would actually go the direction where I was going, also. But like, they wouldn't do it. And we had a standoff. I stood there, he stood there. And I canceled the ride right in front of him. Everybody called me all kind of names. I was like, "That's so rude." Like, why can't you just turn like so some power control issue, which I know that a lot of folks feel like they don't have enough power or they feel like they're powerless. So in certain jobs, they decide to exert their power. Case in point, another time in a lift recently, um, my brother and I get a back seat, and we're talking about my sister, and the chicken that was driving decided to chime in and chastise our conversation. And I was like, I'm grown folks, and really, she and I are probably the same age. And then we were, so I said, well, I apologize if whatever I said offended you. I personally don't think I said anything offensive. But she tried to just speak for my sister. Well, I think I wasn't take the conversation. It wasn't anything serious, but it was just like we were kind of talking. She was sick, and we are talking about a couple of things, and we were not disrespecting her or nothing. But she felt we were because we were mentioning she was sick and a few other things in the car. With this point, I said, "Well, I didn't know you were listening." Like, well, I'm in the car. I said, "Well, I'm saying that some people tune people out when they're driving and they listen to the radio or whatever." But I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I'm sorry if you're offended." Well, I'm not offended. You have to apologize to me. But I'm like, but you brought it up and then proceeded to tell us how wrong we were, proceeded to tell us that when people get in my car, I control the mood in the car race. I was like, wow. I mean, I just sat here the rest of the ride. I set the rest of my face. And then we got the car. I said, thank you, have a nice day. Gave her 0 stars, wrote her up as rude and condescending, and the whole thing. But people are trying, I feel like people are trying to grasp on find control when they can find it. And they're just like, and they're just doing it in ways that are just out of control. Are out of control. So how do you, like I said, it made my day bad, or by that afternoon bad. So how do you come out of that when you have that happen? Maybe another incident happened, and another incident happened, and you're like, I'm trying to have a good day today. It's like, like we always say, not today, Satan kind of thing. But yeah, but sometimes after a while, you get so many of those that really does hit you, and it's happening more and more. It's not even like it's getting before you can say, oh, that happens once every 3 or 4 weeks. Right? That was a weird moment. But it's to me, it's happening every other day. It's starting to happen more and more. And it's like, how do I duck and dodge and try to not have that so much? I talked about the other day about just minding my own business, and somebody else does something that affects how someone looks at me or affects my business. Like I was way over here minding my own business. How did that happen? It's like, what do we? And there was no way to prepare for it because you feel like you did everything you were supposed to prepare for it. It's like you okay, you come home, you lock the front door, you set the alarm, you do all the things you're supposed to do, but somebody does something, they turn the alarm off, and then they don't turn it back on. And somebody comes in and breaks the house. It's like, well, I know I did my part. I did what I was supposed to do. I don't know why you didn't follow the same suit. I did everything I did to protect the house, but then you didn't, so to speak. So it's just weird. It's like sometimes that's weird too. And that's happening more and more to me too. I'm like, I'm just minding my own business. Leave me alone. So there are people who go rogue in situations or to go silent in situations. I was talking to someone, you didn't know them, and it's funny. The conversation was fine at the beginning. It was great. It was all great. Then all of a sudden, it takes a turn. Not from me, but they say something and they go, oh, was that too forward? Is that too shocking? I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm 54 years old. You can't really shock me about nothing. The person was younger. It's a pattern with younger people sometimes. Like, no, I'm not shocked surprised. I'll talk about it with you. That's fine. And we talk about then the conversation turns to what it turns to. We're talking about it. And then I'm realizing, this person is not like somebody I want to really talk to that much. And then they become crickets and they I guess extricate themselves. That made it easy for me to go, okay, bye, see you later. Or somebody else I was talking to become friends with that I guess I didn't fit what they wanted. So they were like, bye, that's it. So it's just the world. I'm just watching everybody act out. And I'm like, what are we? What about those of us who don't act out, who don't do outrageous acts, who don't attack store clerks or shout at people who park close to their car? I mean, I just, how do the rest of us? And I feel like there is no dialogue anymore. There's people talking about the stuff that's happening. And I'm gonna try to do some panels on this because I do want to talk more about this. Now that I'm talking to you, I want to talk more about. I like doing my discussions, but there's everybody commenting on the craziness, and then there are folks who are telling you if you do these 5 steps, you won't be crazy anymore. So I'm being funny, so to speak. Buy into my thing, buy into my thing. Which we all have products. I buy into my thing, but like, where is like the dialogue? I just don't see it anymore. It's that everybody's posting their side of stuff, and that's it. I don't see anybody coming together. Then I do my race shows and other shows where I try to get people from different sides. We try to talk about it, and I'm developing a show right now that's about that too, where it's just like it's just different sides. This we're just trying to figure this out. Um, it's yeah. It's I don't know. It's just so oh my gosh. It's just I want more community. I crave more community. I crave people come together and like just we may not agree on everything, but like at least just come together and just let each other do we need to live our lives or whatever, and just appreciate each other's differences. And that I fear that's just gone at this point. But then there are folks who need a lot of mental health treatment. No one, they're not getting it. People are not, they're not getting it. I think people are just, they're running wild with whatever ailments they have, and we're in trouble. I wish I could end this show on a positive, upbeat note, but I always have hope on some level. I always try to. But it's getting worse and worse, kids. And I'm still trying to do my best to create community and do my Zooms and things that I do. But I just think, folks, it's a dog eat dog world out there. And as Roger Dangerfield said, I mean, I'm wearing milk bone underwear. I'm sorry, I aged myself the 80s. I did not joke. There you go, I did not joke. I'm James Lott Jr. LottieHelp.com. I am available for hire, one-on-ones, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. DM me, whatever, for rates and times. Or if you want me to send you to introduce you to other life coaches, I know many that are great. That might be good for you. You should always vet your life coach. And James Lott Jr. everywhere. And I will talk to you next time. Don't go crazy. Hang in there.